No Stephen Curry, no Andrew Wiggins, and no DeAnthony Melton. Well, no problem for the Golden State Warriors, because on a back-to-back against a good team in the New Orleans Pelicans, who were missing some key players, but still had both Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, the new-look Golden State Warriors walked away with 2 victories. And this right here should tell you everything you need to know about the 2024 Golden State Warriors. They are deep. They are really deep. So deep that you have a man coming off the bench capable of giving you 20 points in a half. It almost looked like Steph Curry was somehow on the bench and on the court during the 3rd and 4th quarter of the first game against New Orleans. The only way we knew for certain it wasn't Steph was because we could see him on the bench enjoying the Buddy Hield masterclass as much as any of us from right at home. But it was much more than just Buddy Hield going off in the second half of the first game. The Dubs' depth showed out, with them having 6 different double-digit scorers in the second game and 5 in the first game against New Orleans. But that still doesn't even do the Warriors' depth justice, because it goes beyond just having guys who can score. What has made this Warriors team so good to start the year has been the defense. And whenever you talk about defense and Golden State, there is one man that needs to be mentioned above all. I need to show you guys what Draymond Green just did to Zion Williamson, because it was nothing short of unbelievable. This man right here is 34 years old. He gets clowned on a weekly basis, not just for some of the reckless things he's done, but more importantly, he is clowned for his impact as a player. How often do you hear people calling him overpaid, overrated, a role player, a triple single, all of these things? And whilst in this game against New Orleans, he had a good offensive night, which is always great to see, it was the defense absolutely clamping Zion Williamson, holding one of the best scorers in the NBA to 5 of 19 from the field to go along with 4 turnovers and just putting on a masterclass of a defensive performance. And what makes Draymond one of the greatest defenders ever is his timing. Like on this play where you have Zion racing up the court in transition. Dre is initially in position to cover Hawkins before sliding to the middle of the floor, and look at the ability to contest and block Zion at full speed without fouling. And yes, I know in that clip it was called a foul, but for anyone who missed the game, it was overturned following a challenge. And Dre did this multiple times in the game, using that length and strength he has to absorb the contact from Zion whilst having the concentration to block or alter his shots. Take this other play for example where Zion comes from the baseline. And what do you notice about that shot? That's not a shot Zion usually takes, but because of Dre's rim protection and physicality, he was forced into a jumper, which he bricked before getting the offensive rebound, and guess who was there to send his shot packing for the second time? And in true Draymond fashion, he made sure to remind the world following this game what he thinks about DPOY talks. Now, one player who won't get much credit for these wins is Jonathan Kuminga. When the news came out that Steph Curry and in particular Andrew Wiggins were going to miss games, everyone all thought the same thing. This is JK's time to step up. This is what he's been waiting for. Well, Steve Kerr had different ideas, and instead he was benched, which could have led to JK pouting or taking it personally or not showing effort on defense. Well, it was the complete opposite, because on a back-to-back, JK was locked in on defense, he was smart with his decision making on offense, and he used his physical tools to provide some of those intangibles that Andrew Wiggins normally gives them. And he still showed you the flashes of star potential he has, like here where he brings it up in transition. He slows down for a second before the pickup and the little step around Brandon Ingram for the bucket. Just look at both Steph Curry and then Steve Kerr's reaction. That should tell you all you need to know about that move. And this is what JK has done over the last 2 games. He's played within the flow of the offense, still using his strengths as a downhill driver and scorer, but more within the flow of the offense. Not to mention he's been locked in defensively. Now he needs to do this and also show that he can make defenses pay when they leave him wide open for him to regain that starting spot, but at the very least, having a bench that could include him, Buddy, and Pods is ridiculous. Now, another guy coming off that bench is Kyle Anderson. During the first game against New Orleans, Slow-Mo went 0 of 8 from the field, which prompted some fans to suggest he was awful. He shouldn't be playing any minutes, he shouldn't be on the court, he shouldn't be anywhere near this team. Well, the beauty of Kyle Anderson is the next game he went 4 of 4, but it goes beyond just the stat sheet. You saw all the little things that he does, getting in the passing lanes, using his length on the defensive side of the floor, making plays for others, switching positions defensively, and sometimes even giving you a bit of a Draymond impersonation on both ends of the floor, which is never a bad thing. Kyle Anderson is going to have his ups and downs as a shooter, but one thing he will do is make plays all over the floor. Now, speaking of making plays all over the floor, another guy who's been doing that is Brandon Podziemski. Just take this play for example. The Warriors bring the ball up the floor. Buddy goes for the step back 3, and with 3 Pelicans defenders there for the rebound, it's Brandon Podziemski who gets in there and tips the ball out to Buddy for a reload 3, and he's not going to miss that. And it's just that ability to stay switched on at the right time, which is just a great way to describe Pods as an overall player. Brandon Podziemski might not be a star right now. He might never be a star, I don't know, and yes, he needs to shoot better, but every single night he's putting his body on the line to draw charges, he's making the extra pass, setting screens, getting in the passing lanes, and getting offensive rebounds. I've seen people make fun of that, but there is a reason he always ends the game with a good plus minus. He does so many things that contribute to winning, and if he can continue to work on that jump shot and that handle, you have a very, very good NBA player who will contribute to winning almost every single night. And just as importantly, he's on a rookie contract as well, which really helps with financial flexibility, allowing the Dubs to get guys like Buddy Hield in free agency. Now, it would be wrong of me to go this entire video without mentioning Lindy Waters, a man who the Warriors effectively picked up for cash with them spending money to attain the pick that they traded for him. Well, that was a very, very good decision, because for anyone who saw him in preseason, you could tell he was an NBA level player. The only problem was, so were 12 other players on this roster, but with injuries to Melton, Steph, and Wiggs, he got a chance, and he did not disappoint, going off for 21, 8, and 4 in the first game against the Pels. And although he struggled shooting in the second game, you saw his activity defensively and even showcasing an ability to make solid reads as a passer. This is a legit 40% shooter with the ability to shoot off movement, defend, and even pass a bit to go along with some good size. This is a Dubs player personified, and Mike Dunleavy Jr., you deserve a clap for picking up Lindy Waters for absolutely nothing. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, you also deserve a clap. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, dropping a like on the video would be much appreciated. Hope you have a nice day. Bye.